Good morning, students. Today we will start from the topic solutions of solid in liquid. So here you can see solutions of solids in liquid solubility. Now, what is solubility? Solubility of a solid in liquid at any temperature is defined as the maximum amount of solid in grams which can dissolve in 100 gram of the liquid. It means how much solute or maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in 100 gram of solvent is known as its solubility to form saturated solutions. So what it's mean, the amount which is added in the 100 gram of liquid is known as its solubility. Here are four terms: dissolution, crystallization, saturated solution, unsaturated solution. So what do you mean by dissolution? Dissolution is the process of dissolving solute into solvent is known as dissolution. So dissolution, when solute is added to the solvent and solute keeps dissolving and concentration of solution keeps on increasing, this is known as dissolution. In simple words, dissolution means addition of solute into solvent. And second thing, crystallization. Crystallization means when some solute particles in solution collide with the solid solute particles and get precipitated out, then this process is known as crystallization. Now we can learn crystallization. Suppose you have liquid solvent and we are adding sugar into it. We add maximum amount of sugar, then it becomes saturated. After that, if we add another molecules of sugar, then it will not dissolve. As it appears, sugar will not dissolve and it collected at the bottom. But actually, the new sugar particles collide with the dissolved particles and itself dissolved, and the dissolved particles are precipitated out. So the outcoming of the dissolved particles of solute is known as crystallization. Saturated solution means a solution in which no more solute can be added or dissolved. If you have particular liquid, we are adding solute into it and we are adding again, and a time comes when no more solute can be added, then particular type of solution is known as saturated. And unsaturated solution mean in which more solute can be dissolved. Now you can easily see from here, solute plus solvent gives you solution. There is a dissolution, I am writing there is an arrow, reversible arrow between solution, solute plus solvent. Here we can write dissolution. It means whenever solute plus solvent mix with each other to form solution, this process is known as dissolution. And when the solution goes back to solute and solvent, then it means crystallization. Next point come factor affecting the solubility of a solid in a liquid. So there are two factors on which solubility depends. First one is the nature of solute and solvent. Second one is temperature. Now nature of the solute and the solvent. As you know, we in humans we will talk to that particular person with whom our nature is matched or our thinking is matched. If our thinking is not matched with the other person, we will not try to in touch with him or her. We don't want to be in contact. So that's the same thing in the solution. In solutions, if the nature of the solute is similar to the nature of the solvent, then they both dissolve, or the solute may dissolve in the solvent. Otherwise they will not dissolve. So here nature means polarity, polar or non-polar. If your solute or if the solute is polar, then it will dissolve in polar solvent. If the solute is non-polar, then it will dissolve in non-polar solvent. So what is polar means here? Polar means charge separation. Polar means charge separation. When there is a charge separation between the molecules, then it is called polar molecules. For example, if we have NaCl, as you know, chlorine is more electronegative, it will acquire partially negative charge, it will attract electrons toward itself, and sodium will acquire positive charge. So you can easily see here there is a charge separation. It means polarity is generated there, or this molecule is known as polar molecule. So polar will dissolve in polar, and for example, NaCl. NaCl, that is common salt, is ionic compound. It will dissolve in water because water is also polar. NaCl is polar molecule. Water is also polar. They will dissolve in NaCl is dissolve in water easily, or in much amount, in more amount. But if we are adding sugar, if we adding sugar in water, sugar is not added so much like salt, because sugar is non-polar. It is dissolved, no doubt, it dissolves, but amount of dissolution is less for sugar. So there is a polarity difference. So polar compounds dissolve in polar compounds very good amount. Now let us discuss the explanation. Here we can easily say NaCl is represented by small positive charge, large negative charge. This is NaCl molecule. So firstly, we can easily see when NaCl is dissolved in water, the negative water is OH2. As you study in 11th class the structure of water, you can easily see there is a dipole moment, or there is a charge separation between in the water molecule. So here oxygen acquire partially negative charge and hydrogen acquires partially positive charge. So as the NaCl is dissolved in water, the negative part of the water molecule, that is oxygen, negative part, it is oxygen, face toward the positive part of the solute, and the positive part of the solvent face toward the negative part of the solute. As they approaches in this way, the NaCl is separated. When NaCl is separated, the whole of the sodium is surrounded by the negative parts of the water molecule, that is oxygen, and whole of the chlorine negative ion, that is surrounded by positive part of the water, that is hydrogen positive ions. So in this way they are NaCl, or the compound, polar compound, is separated or dissolved, and these ions, when Na positive or Cl negative, either NaCl, these are surrounded by water molecules. This type of particular ions is known as hydrated ions or hydrated molecules. So when the water molecules surrounded these molecules are known as hydrated molecules. And the main point in this paragraph is a substance dissolved if hydration energy is greater than lattice energy. Now what is lattice energy? What is hydration energy? Lattice energy is the energy required to split the ionic compound into its ions. Energy required to split ionic compounds into ions, or it may be reversible. Energy required to make to make ionic compound from ions. Reversibility is also there. Hydration energy. Energy is the energy released when ions get hydrated. When ions get hydrated, energy is released. That particular energy is known as hydration energy. So hydration energy must be greater than lattice energy so as to separate into ions. For non-polar compounds, this is for polar compounds. For non-polar compounds, there are just interactions between solute solvent, and solvent. There is nothing more in this topic. Effect of temperature. So solubility will be affected by temperature in three ways. Firstly, if solubility increases as the temperature increases. Secondly, solubility decreases if the temperature increases. Third one, if the temperature increases, the solubility shows different variations. There is no regular increase or decrease. So firstly we will discuss about the first one, whose solubility increases with increase in temperature. Examples are NaNO3, KNO3, NaCl, KCl. These are the particular substances whose solubility increases with increase in temperature, because when these reactions or when these compounds are dissolved in water or dissolved in solvent, heat is required. Heat has to be given to the solute and solvent so as to make solution. So as the heat is given, it means they required heat, it means they required temperature. So we have to give them temperature to make the products. Or you can say, applying Le Chatelier principle, if there is a change in heat or there is a change in temperature, the reaction will go in that particular direction where heat is absorbed, that is in the forward direction. Second point, those whose solubility decrease with the increase of temperature. Here are the substances. Example, you can see cerium sulfate, lithium carbonate are the examples whose solubility decreases, because when these reactions or these chemicals or these reagents are added to the solvent, the reaction is occupied by evolution of heat. It means these are exothermic. For exothermic reactions, if A plus B gives you C plus heat, and according to Le Chatelier principle, if we apply heat, that is if we are giving temperature to the reaction will go in that direction in which heat is absorbed, that is in the backward reaction. If heat is in the product side, reaction and we are increasing temperature, reaction will go backward. It is for exothermic. Third one is those substances whose solubility shows irregular behavior. We can see, students, you can see here, ammonium nitrate is first increases, then there is a dip, and then again increases, dip, increases, dip, increases, dip, then decreases little bit. So you can easily hear there is a no regular trend, there is an irregular trend. This trend is due to some reasons. As we give the temperature to particular reagents, reactants, they will convert. You can see there are some substances which on heating changes at a particular temperature from one polymeric form, that is alpha, into beta, one hydrated form, that is 6H2O to 4H2O. I can clear it. 6H2O to 4H2O, then 2H2O. So they are converting one hydrous form to another hydrous form. And third one is Na2SO4.10H2O. Here it is converted from one hydrated form to anhydrous form. So the temperature we are giving to them is used to convert it to one form to another form, and the temperature where they are converting from one form to another form is known as transition temperature. The temperature at which one form of the substance changes into another is called transition temperatures. Now, a definition is there: solubility curves. When the solubilities are plotted against temperature, the curves obtained are known as solubility curves. Now, we discussed two factors, but there is third factor also, that is pressure. Pressure is also there, but we are discussing the solution of solids in liquids. As we know, liquids and solids both are incompressible. When they both are incompressible, then there is a very little or very insignificant effect of pressure. So you can say there is a negligible effect of pressure. For example, if you increase the pressure, you can write this example, because this example is not given in the book. Please write it down. If we change the temperature, I am repeating again, there is a mistake. If we change 500 atmospheric pressure, change in pressure increases solubility of NaCl in water, NaCl in water only by 2.3%. What it's mean? If you change the temperature, change the pressure up to 500 atmosphere, then the solubility increases only by 2.3%. It means there is a very very little increase. So there is no significant effect of pressure on the solubility of solids in liquids. So here today's topic is complete. Next topic we will study solutions of gases in liquids. So thank you.